Hi everyone, my name is James Feeney. Welcome to or back to my channel. Today I am here with a little bit of a different video. I thought this would be fun, a really nice way to spread some love and appreciation, especially for the communities that I see myself as being a part of. And I know that a lot of us are looking to watch more videos, or we have the time to watch videos, and so we don't know, sometimes we run out of videos, we're looking for new creators and new content, and it's difficult. YouTube algorithms are weird and they suggest to us mostly a lot of what we've already seen and know, the creators that are more popular, which we are already familiar with, and so a lot of smaller channels and creators that have really great content fall to the wayside and remain unrecognized and unnoticed. And so I've designed a tag, I think, I'm going to call it, I believe, Channel Love, and I invite everybody to participate in this. Whether you are a large or a small channel, you can shout out any channels you like. They don't have to be tarot or witchy or things that we associate with our these parts of the community, I guess. It doesn't have to be like that. It can be music, it can be anything you want, but I invite any and everybody to participate in this, so that way we can all get some really great suggestions of creators and content that we might be interested in, because when, say you're watching my channel, you're hopefully interested in my content. The creators that I'm going to recommend in their content are hopefully ones that I think people who like to watch me might want to watch. Likewise, I am a pretty small channel, and I've decided personally for this video to only recommend channels that have under what I see as 1K subscribers. Some channels on this list don't have their subscriber count listed, but I kind of think that they're under 1K. If so, they're not in like the tens of thousands, and so I've tried to keep it to channels that are under 1,000, just because I think that it's harder to find those sorts of channels. A lot of the channels I may be mentioning you probably already know, because most of them are larger than I am. But the hope is that with more people participating in this, we all get more suggestions. We all start to realize and see various channels on various people's tags, and that way, hopefully ones that I miss, you can then speak on and shout out or suggest or recommend and share that love for them. And I've decided to only shout out 10 channels, just because I made a list, an exhaustive list of all the channels that I really like, and that video I started to film it and it got exceedingly long, and so then I was only speaking about one sentence. I started to short myself to about one sentence per channel. That was no good. It didn't really feel like I was offering anything helpful or suggestive in nature. Then I decided to make it channels that were under about 1,000. Still, the video got extremely long, and so now I'm doing this for a third time, and I've limited myself to 10 channels, so this is not meant to be exclusionary. There are a lot of channels I want to mention, but I just put 10 random channels, like ones that came into my head and ones I've been watching a lot in the past few days. And so my hope is that it is inclusionary and that many people will participate in this tag and mention the many channels that I missed. And I would love to see responses, because I would like to be introduced to new channels as well. And it would be nice if larger channels participated as well, because smaller channels it's harder for them to get noticed and for their content to kind of see the light of day, even when it's very good. And so my hope is that I am going to highlight these content creators that I really think are bringing something unique and awesome to the table, and that if you don't know of them, that you might want to know of them. So after all of that rambling, we will begin, and I will start with Anna Astro Tarot. I'm sure many people may know her channel already. She is wonderful, groundbreaking. The sorts of topics she's covering are extremely substantial. She's recently done one creating maps with the tarot, which I found to be really useful. Her thoughts on various systems and decks are mind-blowing in my opinion. Her video on the Thoth Tarot and the way she spoke about Aleister Crowley and the connotations that a lot of us hold with darkness and the Thoth Tarot, or negativity and the Thoth Tarot, and how she dispelled that and sort of brought it to light, brought it to the surface, and really fleshed it out. Felt so thorough. She is highly intelligent. She has videos on tarot and books, and I really just think that there's something about the way that she goes about making content that gets you thinking and wanting to interact. And a lot of her videos are sort of interactive in nature, like that recent mapping video that I mentioned, which specifically I think is awesome, and I think everybody could benefit from almost partaking in that activity. And of course, go and check her out and you will learn more. I'll have all the channels, of course, linked below, so she will be linked, and I really recommend her channel. Next, I have the boy diviner. His name is Casper, and many of you may also know his channel, but I think that he is definitely one worth checking out. The energy that he brings in his channel to his videos, the sort of passion and drive that he has when he's creating content is very apparent. It's almost infectious. I enjoy watching for that aspect. It really uplifts me. He's always bringing, I particularly like his book recommendations. I find that I'm drawn to a lot of them. He has this sort of, it feels like to me, esoteric type taste. It's almost on the darker side in a way that I wouldn't, and books that are more obscure that I wouldn't have found out if sorry, my dog is barking. And he's barking, yeah. But I wouldn't have found these books if I hadn't watched his channel. The way that he speaks on various decks, he's just so humble and a kind soul, and he's a really great reader as well. So yeah, I could sing his praises from the rooftops. He's an awesome person and he's creating awesome content, so check him out as well. Next, I have Strength Reversed, and I recently came across her channel, very recently, like a few days ago, because she responded to my tag, the reader I am, and I'm really thankful that she did, because I kind of went down the rabbit hole with her videos. She's extremely sort of like, how do I put it? I loved her content for the fact that she just seems very straightforward. She's articulate. She gets her points across very effectively. There's something about her that feels very assured and confident, and particularly another video that I really enjoyed of hers was sacred spaces in her area, where she went outside and spoke on these various spaces that she goes that are sacred in nature on her property. And as somebody who really has an appreciation for sacred spaces and the idea of sacred spaces and the necessity of kind of having that dialogue, I really recommend you check that out. It kind of blew my mind and got me thinking about various places I've gone and the kind of sacred nature that can hold. And she goes to these sacred spaces and pulls cards that can describe the space and then delves into that, and it was so entertaining to watch and so unique, and I'm actually going to try that technique out. So Strength Reversed, she's really awesome. Check out her channel. Next, we have Justin Michael, and he also responded to my tag, so thank you if you're watching this, Justin. But he has really awesome content, especially for me, for like the ones that I watch and really enjoy are his deck reviews and him speaking on various decks. He has a really interesting taste and picks out these sort of older decks, especially older systems too, and speaks on them in a way that feels very different from what I could imagine myself saying or anybody else saying. So things like Solabusca, but also things like, I remember there was one and it was a baseball tarot, and I had never heard of it. I would have never discovered it otherwise, and I was really interested in the way that he spoke about the connection between sports or baseball and tarot. And so there's a bunch of videos that I could kind of liken to that, where he's comparing systems. He also reads up on Jung and seems very knowledgeable there, so he brings that into the way that he talks about tarot, which I appreciate and find very useful and interesting. So Justin Michael, check him out if that sounds interesting to you. And next we have Lennon Smith. Oh my gosh, Lennon. Definitely check out Lennon. Everybody needs to check out Lennon. She's awesome. She's cranking out the content like crazy. She's creative as hell. Like, the topic she covers, it's very, I'm trying to think of the right wording. First of all, she's a ball of energy. Every time I watch a video, I feel inspired, I feel energized, I'm ready to do something, to create something, to read and interact. She has activities, she gets so into all the subject matter that she's interested in so wholeheartedly. She has amazing videos on Thoth where she goes so in depth. If you're looking for Thoth book reviews and to learn about Thoth and the system, watch all of her videos, all of them. She has videos where she is almost creative magically painting. There's ones that involve cooking. There's ones about the divine feminine. There's so much there. the range of topics and the depth that she goes into is unmatched. So yes, everybody should know who Lennon Smith is, and definitely check her out, like 1000%. All right, so next on this list I have concocted, we have Science to Soltero with Jen, and she is, I think, the sweetest human being ever. She's so nice. She always takes time to comment on my videos, which I really appreciate. And so I love the little dialogues that we have under mine and her videos when I comment. Sometimes I'm not as good about commenting, so I apologize, but she's so sweet. And watching her videos, I just feel this sort of warmth and kindness. And the topics she speaks about to me are extremely interesting as well. It's almost this, it's meditative and relaxing. Like, I could get lost and just continually watch all of her videos. She recently posted her deck collections, or not collection, but various aspects within her collection, and that was really fun to see. She has very unique taste as well. I love the way that she sets up her space, and she has some videos on crystals, which I like. I like to see crystals, and I think that she picks really cool ones. And the way that she just speaks about tarot overall and her passion for it and how her craft has evolved in her journey. She seems very experienced and wise, and like she has sort of this knowledge to impart. And so I highly recommend Science to Soul, oh my gosh, I always mess up her name, Science to Soltero with Jen. So Jen's channel, check her out. Next, we have Liminal Lark, Leanda's channel, and I love her channel. I could watch it all day. I'm sometimes like, oh, I'm out of videos to watch of hers. And she is the kindest human being. She is so awesome, so intelligent, and I admire her in a lot of ways. One, for her knowledge and experience that she has in various fields, from astrology to tarot to like meditation type practices to overall just spiritual fields. She has so much experience and knowledge there that it's insane, like insane. And I also sort of admire, and this may sound a bit odd, that she's very minimalistic. Like, she cuts out the fluff. She's very direct, and she can get to the point, but also like she speaks about how she doesn't keep decks that she doesn't like, how she doesn't really have time and use for objects that she doesn't like or use, and it's very expressive in her space and the way that she sort of conducts herself. So the two seem very cohesive, the way that she portrays herself and that sort of aspect to her that feels very minimalist. And I wish that I could be like that, because as you can see, I could be a maximalist if that's, yeah. So Liminal Lark, I just love the way she speaks on decks. I could watch, like, if she posts an 1.5 hour long video, I will be watching the entire 1.5 hour, because I know every second is jam-packed with substance and meaning and thought-provoking ideas. And so, yeah, Liminal Lark, check out that channel. Next, we have Fierce and Pretty. And Fierce and Pretty is a very new channel to me. I appreciate a lot of their recent content. I think that they're relatively new. They're also really kind. They reached out to me about a video that I just posted on, it was a reading tutorial that I posted, and I mentioned how I couldn't or didn't post a picture of the actual spread on the screen because of the way iMovie worked, and I wasn't really good at editing. And they sent me a video of somebody teaching in iMovie how to kind of circumvent that feature and prevent it, and they had mentioned that they saw the video and they thought that this could help me, so I really appreciate them for that. And they have videos on, say, trimming the Thoth, which I think is valuable as somebody who is about to trim their own Thoth deck. I am watching that. I have watched that. They have some really cool deck reviews and tutorials and walkthroughs that I enjoy, especially out of print decks or older decks. And so they're definitely, I think, newer to the scene. I could be wrong, but their channel, I think, is a bit newer. So check them out, show them some love. I really love them, and it was so nice of them to reach out and offer that resource to me as well. And finally, I believe this is the 10th one. Let me check. Yes, okay. Finally, we have Skylar Hayes, and he is on the, oh my gosh, what's the name of the podcast? It's Samantha Menzo's podcast that I'm sure many of you are familiar with. And he has his own channel. His name is, the channel name is Skylar Hayes, and his name is Skylar. So yeah, check him out. He has really awesome meditative, reflective material that I find very thought-provoking. I like to sit with it, and I find myself thinking about it for days that come. Also, he does a similar sort of thing on Instagram but he takes really copious notes, and it's very artistic. It's almost this expressionary writing. So it seems like he's a really great writer. It's almost like this philosophical, spiritual experience. And so he'll delve really deeply into these cards and almost go on this journey and share some of his writing, share some of his real life experience that he finds connects to the card. And he's really unraveling the various layers and avenues that any given card in the tarot could go down. And so I appreciate it for that. So check out Skylar for sure. Hi everyone, very informal James, not on a tripod, not sitting any which way, but I'm here because while I was sitting, I guess, went through 9 channels, and my intention was to name 10. So the 10th channel, or depending on where I put this in the video, one of the channels that will make 10 channels total is AquamarineEighteen. I love her channel. I've really been watching a lot of it, I guess, for book reviews specifically. I love her content. She's inspired me to get a deck. Like, when she speaks on certain things, I feel very called to listen, because she speaks very critically and honestly in a rational way that provides the information that I specifically am looking for to make informed decisions on books and decks. And so specifically the Journey Oracle I got mostly because of her unboxing and how she spoke about it and how she showcased it, and her very recent review of Tarot for Troubled Times I found to be immensely useful. I have the book actually, and I've had it for a long time. I haven't gotten into it, and her review really gave me some really wonderful insights about how I potentially want to go about working with it, if I want to go about working with it, because I was on the fence, and honestly I still am on the fence, but it's good to know the things that she spoke on. And her background with, I would say, the humanities is really where I was taken aback, and I enjoyed the review from that perspective. As somebody who doesn't have quite the same background, I majored in English literature, but I do come at a lot of these books and decks and topics from a more, I would say, from that area. And so I think that a lot of what she speaks on, she's very well educated with social justice, it seems, and that's something that I really appreciate, and I think it's a really valuable topic to integrate into things like tarot and spirituality, just because they are so prevalent, they are important, and it's really important to be inclusive and aware of certain aspects, and I think that that can be easily overlooked, and she has a lot of great knowledge there. So AquamarineEighteen, check out her channel, highly recommend, and that would make 10 channels total, so now there is the proper amount. And so I think that brings us to the end. Those are the 10 channels that I will be highlighting in the start of this tag. Hopefully there are some people watching who don't know of these channels and can find really great content in that way. I love these channels. I hope that they get the love and appreciation I think that they deserve. And I hope that you guys feel inspired to share and speak on various channels that you may love and watch and think deserve some love and appreciation. So like and subscribe if you're new and if you enjoyed this, and hopefully, and let me know if you respond to this tag, like comment, send me the links. I'm interested because I want to find new channels. And until next time, bye everyone.